helps businesses break down information silos, collaborate efficiently, and quickly adapt to stay competitive. Grammarly.com/business.
WNYC is supported by City National Bank, which believes that business should be personal. City National's relationship managers are committed to knowing their clients' banking needs so they can help achieve their goals. More at cnb.com.
Next time on the New Yorker Radio Hour, even researchers working on artificial intelligence are gravely alarmed by what ChatGPT can do.
We expect that level to come maybe in 10 or 20 years, and the human level intelligence to come maybe in 50 years. I mean, our horizon for risk just got much shorter.
The promise and the perils of AI. Next time on the New Yorker Radio Hour. Saturday mornings at 10 on 93.9 FM, WNYC.
It's Marketplace on WNYC. All Things Considered continues at 7 o'clock. It's going to be mostly clear tonight with some patchy fog also overnight, a low around 65 degrees. And tomorrow, sunny skies and very hot, a high near 90 with a chance of rain in the afternoon.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Ryssdal. The Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, was in Sweden yesterday talking trade and technology with her European Union counterparts. One big item on the agenda, artificial intelligence, more specifically the regulation thereof. As with a whole lot of other things technological, think data privacy for one, antitrust actions as well. Europe is pretty far ahead of the United States in at least trying to put some guardrails up. And those rules on AI that Europe might come up with for ChatGPT and the like may well end up affecting American consumers too. Marketplace's Matt Levin has that one.
The EU Parliament is already putting the final touches on the Artificial Intelligence Act. It could become actual law within the next year. Mark Brakel is policy director at the Future of Life Institute, which advocates for AI safety.
One thing there's consensus on is that if you produce something that is a deep fake, something that people could think is real but isn't, you have to label it and say, this is AI.
Creators of AI models, like the type that power ChatGPT, would also have to disclose whether they use copyrighted material to train their systems. Violators of the AI Act could face steep penalties, including fines of up to 4% of a company's revenue. Emphasis on the could.
Enforcement is one of the key questions that are left open.
Part of the reason the EU has moved so fast, this AI legislation was actually introduced in 2021 to ban things like the use of AI in facial recognition software or emotion recognition systems. But Europe has also just historically been quicker to regulate big tech, partly because of geography. Iverna McGowan is with the Center for Democracy and Technology.
A lot of the very large online platforms that would be subject to this regulation are companies that are headquartered in the United States.
While the political influence of Silicon Valley may be an ocean away from Brussels, EU regulations can still impact how American companies operate stateside.
A lot of global companies, if they have to go to such effort to be compliant in Europe, it doesn't really make sense to then have an alternative for different regions.
In other words, if your company is required to watermark AI images in Germany, you might as well also watermark them in California. I'm Matt Levin for Marketplace.
We're almost through college graduation season, maybe another week, 10 days. But for some schools, Cazenovia College in upstate New York, Holy Names University in Oakland, to name just a couple, this year's commencement is the last ever. According to the Department of Education, more than 100 private nonprofit colleges have permanently shut their doors since 2015. They're closing as the population of traditionally college-age Americans declines and is likely to keep on shrinking, something known in the world of higher education as the demographic cliff, the logical extension of which is that even more schools are likely to close. And as Marketplace's Henry Epp reports, in small college towns, a school that's closed leaves a hole in the local economy and often a very big vacant property.
I'm standing in the ballroom of a vacant mansion in Bennington, Vermont. It has high ceilings and windows that look out on the southern Green Mountains. Real estate developer Alan Weissman has a vision for this space.
This is going to be the dining room. So there's an area that used to be the kitchen. We're going to reconstitute it as a kitchen because this was actually used as a college.
Specifically, Southern Vermont College, or SVC. The small liberal arts school called this former estate on a hill home for about 40 years. It closed in 2019. Now, Weissman and his firm want to turn the entire campus into a luxury resort.
Down where it used to be the cafeteria, down the hill, we're going to make that a casual dining room. And the gym, we're going to create an event space in and make it look more like a barn and less like a gym.
Weissman has never redeveloped a college campus before, but he says this one is unique.
I think it would be much more difficult if this was purposely built as a college with cinder block dorms and that kind of thing, but it wasn't. This was built as a luxury estate.
Weissman's idea isn't the first one that's been pitched for the SVC campus. First, there was a prep school, then a summer camp, then the local hospital system, which used it for mass COVID testing and vaccinations and still owns it. But if Weissman manages to close his deal and build an upscale resort, that may be the answer for Bennington's empty campus, says town manager Stuart Hurd.
They're renovating everything on the site and putting it into productive use. From my perspective, you can't ask for more than that.
Hurd says it could help fill the economic void left when SVC closed. For years, the college attracted people from outside Vermont. Some became cops, nurses, and government employees. They started businesses and frequented others, like the Elm Street Market, just down the hill from campus.
The college was not only a big source of business, but a source of employees.
Owner Ted Katsumpas says SVC students worked the deli counter for years, but the closure wasn't just an economic blow.
It was probably more emotional. We were very attached. We did a lot of catering. We were always up there. We went to their sporting events. So it was a loss.
But one community's loss can look pretty attractive to another.
There's a sense in the real estate community that there is a huge market opportunity.
Brad Noyes is a vice president at Brailsford and Dunleavy, a consultant group that works with higher ed institutions that downsize. He says the reality is former campuses are at best complex real estate opportunities.
It becomes very challenging if you cannot find a partner or a new institution or a real estate development partner that really can take advantage of the full value of that campus.
What makes that especially hard is the fact that there's a lot of space to fill on an empty campus. That's according to Jane Kolodinsky, a professor of community development and applied economics at the University of Vermont.
Someone has to have vision. They have to have enough resources to think into the future about what will happen when this property is redeveloped, and how complicated are the pieces to put together.
Pretty complicated, if the 4 Vermont campuses that have closed since 2019 are any indication. A former Apprentice contestant bought one for $4.5 million with a plan to create a work college that has yet to materialize. A former Obama administration official bought another one, got into a beef with a crypto executive, then pleaded guilty to wire fraud and sold it off for almost $3 million. The third campus was proposed as a senior housing facility, then a waste management company bought it. In Bennington, Vermont, I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
This final note on the way out today, I saw this on Bloomberg. Data from the outplacement firm Challenger, Gray & Christmas. They tally, as you might expect for an outplacement firm, the reasons that companies give for laying people off. Far and away this year, the top category is economic conditions, which we all could have guessed. You scan down the list, a couple of spots though. Companies say 3,900 people this year have lost their jobs because of artificial intelligence.
Marketplace is supported by Amazon Business, helping provide a smarter, easier way to get the supplies businesses need to thrive. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying. And by Invest Puerto Rico, the new nesting place for emerging companies, visionary entrepreneurs, and innovative technologies. More info at investpr.org. And by This Is Uncomfortable, hosted by Rima Crace from Marketplace. Listen as we talk about life and how money messes with it. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we got to go. Here, though, is your moment of economic context. Just a quick observation about the actual debt limit bill now on the Senate floor. The text, the PDF, is 99 pages long. The actual language lifting the debt limit, they didn't get to that until page 98. John Buckley, John Gordon, Rick Carr, Diantha Parker, Amanda Peacher, and Stephanie Seek are the Marketplace editing staff. Amir Babawe is the managing editor. I'm Kai Rizdal. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is APM.